So hello everyone, it's me Combo Abel. This video is only 28 minutes, and this video is all about the origin of the philosophy of racial superiority. Okay, I mean this video, it will tell you where the politics come from, which we have today, where the original of democracy come from, where original of like senates, where the government system come from. So this is a very, very important video. So we can you can learn here. This is Dr. Miles. He died, but he was we still remember him. He have some he read many books, this guy. He read many books, this guy. Hebrews philosophy. He write many books, this guy. So it's good we learn. Learning is, learning is key. Knowledge is a key. You understand? If you don't have a key, you cannot live in your house. If you lost keys, how can you come inside your house? You know what I mean? So knowledge is a key. The problem is where to get that key. So okay, so let's go with this. Okay, Combo Abel, I'm back again, guys. Yes,
a leader. Now I have a picture of a guy here. Who do you think that is? Caesar. Good, someone got it. Now the reason why I put him up there, because I'm going to show you tonight. We're talking about defining leadership. I want to show you tonight where we got our leadership mentality from. It came from this guy right here. Now, Caesar was not a Greek. He was a Roman. But the Romans invaded Greece. The Greeks were the first civilization who documented systematic study of human behavior. This is important. If you want to sound smart, write what I said and then repeat it. Let me say it again. The Greeks were the first civilization to document systematic study, research on human behavior. So the Greeks were what they call intellectuals. They were called from the Hellenistic period. This was the period of humanity where reason became God. Reason means they reasoned out everything. It's another form of humanism. The Greeks were thinkers. Everybody say thinkers. They were very dangerous because they were thinkers. Thinkers will always rule doers. So the Greeks were the first ones who produced all this material on human behavior. Matter of fact, three of the most famous leaders from that group, you know them or heard about them: Socrates, Aristotle, and Plato. They were Greeks. They invented things like democrata. Sounds familiar? Yes, they invented democracy. The Greeks did. That's not from the Bible, that's from the Greeks. They're the first ones to develop the concept of citizen. Matter of fact, the Greek word for citizen, write it down, is the word Polites. Politis. That sounds familiar? It's politician. That's the word in Greek. They're the first ones to study human control. They're the first ones to document manipulations, mechanism, how to control humans. The Greeks were fantastic thinkers. They're the first ones to invent what we call leadership theory. I'm getting at something very important here. So let me give you now, I studied this in college and I was shocked. And then when I finished college, I kept reading and I was more shocked. I discovered that the Greeks actually still rule the world. The Greeks are ruling the world from their grave. As a matter of fact, dead men rule the Bahamas. Dead men. Dead men rule America. Dead men. Dead men rule Europe. Dead men. Why? Their ideas are so powerful. They left it after they died. They invented democracy, and it's ruling the whole Western world, including the Bahamas. That's dead men ruling your country. They were powerful. Now, the Greeks, when I studied them, they had all these complicated ideas about human authority and human power. And they studied, the concepts of how to control crowds and how to manipulate people, and very interesting concepts. I isolated a few of them for you that survived even today in our culture. Here's the first one. The Greeks believed that leadership was a product of natural endowment. Write it down. What does that mean? The Greeks believed that certain humans were born endowed with certain unique characteristics. And if you weren't born with those qualities, then their conclusion was you were created by the divine gods to be a slave. They believe that. So it doesn't matter what you think about yourself. They would study you and see if you have those natural endowments. If you don't have them, it doesn't matter how many degrees you get from college. You are simply an educated slave. That's a Greek idea. Another one of their beliefs is this: leadership is a product of birth traits. The Greeks believed that you who were born with certain unique traits were automatically leaders. Those who were born without those traits are automatically slaves. So their society was very, very neat. No traits, traits. Slaves, leaders. Let me give you an example, because when I read the traits, I became a little bit sick. One of the traits were, if you were born with sharp pointed nose, blue eyes, fair skin like white, and thin lips. This is written in their document. You were born to be a leader. Now you know I canceled, right? That's it for me. I done lost a long time. I got dark skin, big nose, my lips big. And my hair is not blonde, and my eyes ain't blue. I'm a slave. So if I was born in Greece 2,000 years ago, there's no question where I belonged. So you just know where to go. You just behave yourself. So you were relegated by destiny to be a slave. The Greeks believed that. The third thing the Greeks believed is very interesting. The Greeks believed that leadership was a product of providence. Providence means the gods chose you to be leaders. Therefore, those who were not chosen by the gods were destined to be followers. Destined means you ain't got a chance to be a leader. Now, this is very important here. So you ever wonder why the Greeks had so many gods? They were polytheists. That's a big word. It simply means many gods. It's the Greeks who had gods like Zeus and Apollos. These are Greek gods. They had gods like Diana of the Ephesians, all these weird gods. They had hundreds of gods. Matter of fact, the Greek rulers believed they were sons of the gods. That's why the word Hercules is a Greek son of a god. All them stories you hear, these are Greek myths. And they're saying that those who were born and not chosen by the gods are supposed to serve us who were chosen by the gods. In other words, you were born to serve me if you got big nose, black skin, thin lips. If your lips were big, you're my servant. If your hair was not blonde and it was nappy, you are a slave. So this is serious. So this is the philosophy of the day. Putting on a suit and wearing a tie didn't impress them. You are simply a well-dressed slave. See, some of y'all think that changed. That's why I'm getting to it slowly. I'm working my way there. See, some of y'all think that because you came back home with a PhD, that they ain't gonna bring the white consultant in and work over you. And you got more degrees. Because somewhere in their twisted mind, they are still sick with Greek thinking. This permeates our structures. It permeates the fabric of our leadership. That's why I am so weird when I be among them. I'd be so ashamed that they even think that way. How can you think that we're not good enough to own something? Because they're being convinced by the Greeks. The last one, the Greeks believed that leadership was a product of charismatic personality. You'll find this in the writings. Go on the internet, you type in charismatic personality, the Greeks will come up. The Greeks invented the word charisma. That's a Greek word. Do you know what it means? Write it down. It means gifts of the gods,
Gifts of
plural,
the gods.
or giftings of the gods. Charisma. Charisma. Gifts of the gods. Charis, gifts. Ma, gods. Charisma, gifts of the gods. In other words, the Greeks believed that people who were born with certain gifts from the gods were automatically leaders. Let me name some of the gifts they wrote. Flamboyant personality. That's a gift from God. You know, people who are always up front, hey. They say that person was born to be a leader. If you're quiet and very, reserved, they say, oh, you're born to be a slave. Second quality they say is charismatic is ability to speak. People talk a lot. Talk. Like, the one who was talking. They say that's a gift from the God. So if you are quiet, you don't talk, like my wife, you're born to be a slave. My wife wouldn't survive in a Greek culture. The Greeks believed one of the traits that they talk about, this charismatic trait, is one where you are communicative. Like you don't mind talking to people, like getting to know people. You're open. We call it extrovert. Yeah, they say that's charismatic, extrovert spirit. The Greeks say if you have an extrovert spirit, then you are automatically a leader. So anybody who's reserved and careful will automatically a servant, a slave. Now, these are real. Here's the problem. When the Greeks were invaded by the Romans invaded this culture of the Greeks, but the Romans normally would go into a place and, wipe out the place. But when they came to Greece, they saw the beautiful temples, they saw all these gods, and, beautiful statues. And then the Romans came to the capital and they saw the library with all these scrolls, all these writings. Thousands of scrolls. And the Romans were so impressed. Now the Romans are military guys. They're not into thinking. They're into fighting. So when they came to Greece, they were astonished. They said, no other civilization is like this. So instead of destroying the library, the Romans saved it. And the Romans took the books from the library back to Rome. And the Romans studied and adopted Greek theory of leadership. And the Roman Empire ruled the whole world. Those of you who study history, the Romans ruled from Africa all the way up to Scotland. The whole world in between. This is the only country in history that ruled the world. No other country has ever yet ruled the world. Rome is still the greatest country in history. They ruled from Africa states all the way up to England. These guys rule all of Europe. One nation ruled the world. And their philosophy of leadership was Greek philosophy. Think now. So the Romans believed, since they destroyed the Greeks, that they were gifts of the gods. So the leader of the Roman Empire took the name Caesar. Caesar is not a name, it's a title. It means son of the gods. And the Romans adopted the Greek theory of leadership, and they ruled the world with that. So anyone who was not a Roman was automatically a slave. So they say, when in Rome, you don't do what you feel like. You are a slave. You do what the Romans do, they say. Now you know where that came from. Okay, so the Romans now took over the whole world. Follow me. I'm trying to explain why you can't define leadership. Do you know what the Romans did? The Romans destroyed themselves because no one could destroy them. They were so powerful. They destroyed themselves by immorality. Rome was destroyed, they say, by the loins of the Caesars. The sexual life destroyed them. And we're on our way there again. 14 Caesars ruled Europe. 14. 12 were homosexuals. And they liked little boys. And Rome was destroyed by immorality. We're heading that way again. People think, this is new stuff, talking about homosexuality. I'm sitting there going, you old. Sometimes you hear me say that, you think I'm not throwing jazz. This is nothing new. We're on our way down if we go this way. History has proven you don't go this way. You self-destruct. Rome proved it. Rome was destroyed by immorality. Their value systems collapsed. They became so preoccupied with the flesh, with pleasure. No one could destroy them from outside. So they imploded. They rot from the inside. The Roman Empire rot. Matter of fact, they were so rotten that they used to kill each other, citizen brothers, to keep the throne. You read some of the stories, you won't believe the stories. They became so immoral, so valueless, that they would kill their own brother to keep the throne. Sleep with their own mother and their sister, incest, to keep a child on the throne from their own family, because they had no sons or daughters. They would exchange sex. These guys, they destroyed themselves. Immorality. And there are people today standing up in parliaments and senates, standing up in Congress, and they just fighting for the same thing the Romans were destroyed by. It's that man just never learns. The guy said the first time you made a mistake, that's on you. The second time, that's on me. You don't make the same mistake twice. I read once in a book, it says, if you make the mistake the second time, it was not a mistake. It was a choice. Are we going to choose this way? So the Romans ruled the world, destroyed themselves. Now here's the big part. The Roman Empire did not fall by invasion. It fell by disintegration. Disintegration means it fell apart, like a piece of cake that just broke up in little pieces. That's how the Roman Empire fell apart. All you just broke up. And what happened was everybody scrambled for power. And the result was many little kingdoms. Instead of one kingdom, many little kingdoms. Let me give you some of their names. Spanian, Franco, Belgier. Those are Roman kingdoms. Anglo, Roman kingdoms. Portugal, Roman kingdoms. We know these kingdoms in English. Franco, France. Belgier, Belgium. Porco, Portugal. Anglo, Spanian, They're all kingdoms. They are all Romans. You can get it after I'm gone. They are all Romans. So their psyche, their mentality, ingrained. We were chosen by the gods to rule anybody who don't have our traits. They were chosen by the gods to be our servants and our slaves. They are not complete divine beings like us. We are superior. So the French and the Spanish, and the Portuguese, and the British, Anglo, call them Anglo, they decided to expand their kingdoms. So they came to Africa and the Caribbean. And we call it colonization. Colonization is the expansion of Greek leadership philosophy. So going to Africa and bringing slaves over as merchandise was easy. Why? Big nose, big lip, dark skin, peasy head, black eyes. I found 1 million servants, they say. So they come to the West, they establish their plantations, whether it is Carolina or Florida or Louisiana or the Bahamas or Jamaica or Barbados or St. Kitts or St. Thomas or St. Lucia or Guyana or Mexico. They had their plantations and they couldn't use the people they met here because they killed them out with disease. And so they went and found some divine slaves chosen by the gods to work the ground. And they brought them over on ships. And the first ones to bring them was the Portuguese. The Portuguese told the British, we found some people to work the farms. And the British said, where you got them from? They follow us. And they went to the west coast of Africa. And then the French found out. The French said, oh, let's go get some too. And then the Spanish says, oh, let's get some too. And everybody started dashing for divine slaves. Remember, divine means you were chosen by the gods. It's not racism. It's leadership philosophy. That is in the psyche of the system. Oh, I am here. You are here, some of you of my pigmentation and millions of us here in the region because of a leadership philosophy. That's how important leadership is. If the blind lead the blind. We were being led and they convinced you. Matter of fact, if you read the writings of the oppressor, they wrote things like this. They read the Bible on you. They said, now you must be good slaves. And they gave us Jesus. You wonder why, the black Muslims and people like that rose up? Because they even used Jesus as part of manipulation. Jesus said you must be nice slaves. And then you'll go to heaven. If you go to heaven, you'll get robe and shoes. You can't get them now because we ain't giving you none. But, you get them and you get to heaven. So now so the slave in the farm starts singing, I got a shoe. Massa, you got a shoe. All of God's children got a shoe. But I ain't gonna get mine until I go to heaven. I'll walk all over. See, in other words, you get yours now, Massa. I can get mine when I go to heaven. All of that is brainwashing. Those songs that we used to glory and call Negro spiritual, you need to read the words of those songs. They are strong songs of conversion for your mind to make sure you never rise above. I used to sing them, so don't look at me funny. I was born in a little town called Baintown. That was a village of slaves. I'm trying to show you where leadership problems come from. So for 394 years, they ruled these islands, and they made all of us believe you were born to clean my house. You were created to plant my corn. You were sent by God to wash my clothes and cook for my children. And so there we were stuck in the back row. Oh, by the way, you know, you ain't got no charisma, so you must be seen and not heard. You see, that's part of the system. So you're supposed to work, but no one's supposed to see you. And so the little slave walk around the house cooking, and that's, you know, and they ain't supposed to be around when master got friends. See, the whole thing, psychological, that's why some of you all are timid. You're all so timid today, and you think you're cool. Timidity was taught. That is why when a man of my pigmentation speaks up, it makes them nervous because you ain't behaving. Some of y'all wonder why they thought Martin Luther King was a problem. Because he was a black man talking loud. You ain't supposed to talk loud. Stay in your southern church, have church with a stained glass window and shout by yourself. Don't come out here telling us we're wrong. That was the problem. It was a leadership problem. To tell Miss Rosa Parks that she's in the wrong seat was very natural for them. You don't understand. You say, there ain't no prejudice. This is the conditioning of the culture. You ain't supposed to sit here. Yeah, but I'm a human. You ain't no complete human. See? The gods told us where you're supposed to sit. In the back, they say. Divine assignment. I'm saying this for a reason. That is still here in the Bahamas. Yes. No matter how much school you go to, no matter how many degrees you get, no matter how much you think you know, when you come back, they tell you, you're just a smart slave. It's a leadership mentality. So now you know why Miles Monroe is angry. You see why I hate oppression? Because I got the truth. I love it. I love everybody. I like everybody. No, I like everybody. But don't you ever imagine you're better than me. You think you're better? I draw a line. Cross that. That's a Bain Town talk. You don't know about that. And if fella draw a line, that means fight start. Tell your neighbor, ain't nobody better than me. Say it. Come on, say it like you believe it. I ain't convinced. Yeah, you go to work tomorrow, you tell them, wait a minute. I went to a meeting last night. Run into the truth.
I'll do okay.
The Romans invaded the rest of the world with their philosophy. And now we have today, we are only 40 years old, and you think you're far from it. See the Filipinos? Same problem. The British took over there. First the Spanish took over, then the British came. So they had two armies. So the Filipinos got the same issue. Mental damage. And this is why when a Caribbean man wins a medal, it becomes a problem to the systems. What are you doing? Leadership problems. And that's how they define leadership. They defined it by these strange philosophies. And they still exist today. When I paid my house off, I'll never forget. I keep telling this story because I can't forget it. I walk into the bank to pay the last payment on my house. I own my house. And when I signed the paper, the guy says, read it first. It was the original document of that paper for that piece of property. I read the document, the original document. It says, this property is never to be sold to a Negro. That is in the conveyance document in the Bahamas. You hear me, young man? The house I live in was never supposed to be mine. It's in the document. It's a covenant, never to be sold to a Negro. My son and my daughter were with me. I said, I want you all to read that because I want you to remember that.
So as we see here, this is that was Dr. Monroe, and we are ending here. So this video was about the leadership, the original of leadership of philosophy, of leadership philosophy. So as we know now, democracy comes from Greekland. All these things you see, like parliament, like all this politics, it is idea, is a Greece philosophy, Greece theory. You understand what I mean? So when you see news in your television, when you see a politician, when you see that's all Greece philosophy. So that was a very nice message. Me as Combo Abel, I like message like this also. It's open our minds. Wisdom, knowledge is the key, and it's nice to have that knowledge there. It's nice to have history, even when it hurts people, but it's good to know that, because in this world we have problem, a lot of problem in politics, in racial, you know, in national hate, you know, like nationalists, you know, we have that problem, that sickness of hate is everywhere. Its fingers is everywhere. Is in the workplace, is in the street, is everywhere. You always have some sick people who have hate, nationalist, language hate. If you speak another language, they will still hating you. So we have sickness in this world, and we need to heal it by knowledge. You understand what I mean? Yes. So I'm Combo Abel, and thank you for this. It's nice to know the history, where we started, we are human beings, and where we are going. Because we are human beings, we have many sick people inside us, doing sick things, you know, and we need to, you know, then we need to put medicine on it, and that medicine is speaking the truth. The truth will remove sickness. So, Combo Abel, I'm back, so listen up. This is my app, as you see here. This is my app, Vocal Screen 2.5.0. This one I do video with it, and I record it in my I record it in my desktop. You know, I can record it in my desktop and everything, you know. So it's not mine, but I download it. I just want to show you guys that you can download too, and have fun with it. So this was about politician, democracy, racial superiority, all this sickness. We know where it comes from now. Superior people, there's some sick people, they think they're superior outside there in the workplace. Also they think like that, and even where you live, maybe. You understand what I mean? So we need to remove that sickness in this world. Maybe Jesus will come. Jesus is on the way coming. He will remove even many things here. So we are all in this world. The only question you have to ask yourself, you as human being, where you come from before you are born. Before you are not born, where were you? And when you are in the stomach of your mother, where you come from? And who are you when you are born now? And you are in this world. Who are you? And why you are here in this world? And where are you going when you die? This is an intelligent question. forget about superior, forget about racism, forget about all these stupid dumb people. They don't ask themselves who they are. First you ask those questions before you start thinking of hate. If you ask those questions and you get answer, I don't think that you will start hating people. Because you yourself, you don't know who you are. You don't know where your skin come from, and who put skin, your color of your skin. You don't know who put it. You didn't put that in your body. You understand what I mean? So for all these dummy people, they don't know they're the ones who are called. They're the ones who are primitive actually. Calling other people that they are not humans and they are primitive, that shows you are calling yourself that you are the one who is primitive here. So it's me, Combo Abel. The truth have to come in the light, and I thank God that I've made this video, and it's good to bring the truth outside there so that we can destroy the sickness in this world. Okay, so Combo Abel, I'm back again. Let's go. The next video will come again. See you. Subscribe my YouTube video, put a like in this video, and you will help me to bring more video. Abel Combo, back to the business.